What's up, Brandon?
What's happening, Darrin? Excited to be here, man. Really excited to be here to
Yeah,
talk about great
right
things,
on.
right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm telling you, we gotta get a little bit better like dance music, to kick that off. I think we've kind of rubbed that one or run that one into the ground. It's time for something new. I mean, I was still jamming. I know nobody else could see me. Well, maybe you and Jillian could see me, but that's about it. So yeah, man. How you doing? Where are you at? I know you jumped in the Jeep and you took the tent and you went somewhere
Yeah,
off
I'm
the
good.
grid. So where are you
I
at?
am. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm back on the grid. I'm back on the grid. I'm in Cape
There
Cod,
you go.
Massachusetts. So was just in the water, in the ocean. Had to come back here and connect. We've been talking about how excited we've been because of the online course, and just obviously just thinking about the year coming up. And one thing that you and I have been going back and forth about a lot lately has been how the beginning of the year brings a lot of the feels with it. It brings a lot of that stress. It brings a lot of that uncertainty, that anxiety. And what keeps coming back to you and me has been just, we've been talking about just really focusing on people being clear in their vision and the systems that they have in order to focus on really filling your bucket full so that as you go into the school year that you're really running with full steam ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely that time of year. I opened this past week in Virginia at a school district. Just you mentioned the fields, man. It was just electric to be in a an arena filled with teachers and bus drivers and cooks and custodians and you name it, and everybody had that excitement for the new year. And I think that's a pretty common thing, right? I mean, we're all excited. It's a new year. It's a new start, and you hope that this is going to be that year. And I think, like anybody, you start your year off with some goals, and then as the year starts to go, those goals kind of fade by the wayside unless you have a really good plan to hold yourself accountable, to hold yourself to those goals, and to be able to actually stick to it. It's an unfortunate thing, man, and you and I both experienced it, but there are those times where you're like, man, I want to accomplish this, and maybe you get a good start, but then I don't know, you get down into the weeds, you get deep into your work or your routine or your family or whatever it is, and before you know it, you're like, man, I I've completely lost sight of my goal for whatever that goal is, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what's crazy is, just the fact that people have been signing up to take our online course and we've had the opportunity to connect with a bunch of them and we've had the opportunity to hear from them and just having the opportunity to see that people are jumping all in and taking themselves to the next level in the coming school year. And it's looking in the mirror and thinking about what is it that makes me the happiest when I'm teaching, remembering why I'm a teacher, why I'm a school leader, why I'm a principal, why I'm a superintendent, whatever that is. And once you kind of focus on those things, focusing on the why and remembering why you're doing things, then all of a sudden you're going to start to see all of these kind of goals and visions and dreams that you have. They're going to start to come into fruition once you kind of give the energy to them that you need. And that's what we've been talking about is like, let's not just fear your goals. Let's not just sit back and let this be another school year where, oh my God, we're starting over. It's summer is over, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many things that are ending, but there's
Yeah,
so many things that are beginning,
yeah, it's
and
about that new
pointing you
beginning, man.
forward is exactly what we've been talking a lot about. So to all of you who are out there who are getting ready for the school year coming, big things are ahead for you, great things ahead. And just think about the importance of the impact that you're going to make this year. And let's hope that you can really continue to push forward yourself and stay focused on achieving some of those big dreams, those big ideas, some of those things that you may have been a little bit hesitant about, or you might have had that imposter syndrome sitting on your shoulder saying, maybe not today. Well, let's make today today. Let's make it the day that you're going to do something big and really start to launch something for yourselves. That's what it's about. So look within, find what you need to keep that fire going, and starts with goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you mentioned our online course. We have two online courses, folks. If by chance you haven't already heard, our first course is a free course, Accelerated Goals into Action. It's the course that is designed to just kind of help you kickstart this thing, to get you moving forward, to say, hey, let me identify what is that one thing that I really need to accomplish. And if I can, whew, that's going to make everything else just seem so much easier, make everything else that I do, maybe some of the things I do, it just allows me to just set them aside and say, I don't have to do this anymore. This is what I really want to focus on. It's amazing, Brandon. When you think about it, you and I've been doing this work together for about a year and a half now, and we're going to bring Jillian in just a second. And I mean, she's been a part of it since all the way back at the beginning. And I want all three of us to talk about this, but it's amazing to look back a year and a half and think about how far you and I have come, how far you have come with your work with Unlocking Unlimited Potential, how far Jillian has come with all of her work with Imparted Joy, and how far we have come here at Road to Awesome. So it all started with a goal, though. It all started with taking that one step. And, when you take that one step and you enroll in the free course, maybe that's the thing that gets you moving forward. For me, there was a step that I had to take. You've had to take. We've talked about our coaching stories, but let's talk about what it means to actually take that step and to move forward. In the first unit of our paid course, Open Road Accelerate, that unit is Inspire, Connect, and Launch. And that's, how do I take that one thing? How do I get fired up? How do I get inspired? And how do I launch that? And a lot of that is having people to hold you accountable. And I want to bring Jillian in now because, I don't know that there's anybody I feel more accountable to and trust than Jillian. And here's why I say that before I bring her on. Here's why I say that. I know she's doing great work. She supports me constantly. It's not that I feel like I have to answer to her. It's this shared, hey, we're on this journey together. And it's the same way with you, Brandon. So when you jump into Inspire, Connect, and Launch, it's about building that accountability, and that the accountability inside of yourself. So Jillian, yay, I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for foregoing your nap and saying, hey, I'm going to come be a part of these guys. So,
what's up, Jillian?
It's Florida. Hey. It's Sunday afternoon. You had to have a nap scheduled, I'm sure.
I know. So you can always take a nap. You can't always just hop on with two of like my favorite leaders. So, so no, I'm glad to be here. And what you just said, Darrin, I think that just kind of describes so many of our relationships and so many of our connections, from social media spaces, from courses, from just being able to follow each other authentically and just be each other's cheerleaders. We're not competing against each other. We are just madly supporting each other. And it's just phenomenal. Even yesterday, Darrin, when I saw yours and Brandon's, that announcement again on Twitter about your courses, and I'm like, hey, can't I just jump on here and just start like helping you guys talk it up, because that is one thing that has helped push me and my goals. And I've seen more results from taking that course. And this is not a paid advertisement. I swear this is an honest testimony as to what we can do for each other.
Jillian, we talk about, a lot of educators, they come to this place where they're going from being the educator, but now being a content creator and somebody who's out there inspiring work in others and yourself. You've had a tremendous journey. Talk a little bit about all the things that you've done to get to the point where you are, because you started out, you actually stopped teaching in the classroom this year and went on to launch probably one of the biggest steps for you in your career that you've ever kind of seen or witnessed. So talk about what it took for you to get there and tell us a little bit about where you are right now.
Yeah, it started when COVID hit, and I had plenty of time, actually made time for myself to think about what is it that I can, what's going to ignite my success? What's going to push me forward and propel me to dig in and just really find that creative source that is down deep that I can cultivate. And I wrote a book, and then Darrin and I wrote a book together, and then I kind of got stuck, like you mentioned. It was just kind of like one of those places where, okay, well, I've written a couple of books. I'm a teacher. I'm like, where am I going to go from here? And then you guys last year, June the 6th, I believe, or June the 4th, was Road to Awesome, Unlock Your Unlimited Potential on the Road to Awesome. And I jumped in that course, and I still have my journal. I still have my vision map. I still have all of the amazing notes that I took. I still have my RPM. I mean, it's like I look at this thing all the time and I go, look at these goals and these visions that I had for myself a year ago, not 5 years ago, 1 year ago. And to see what has come from that. And I constantly look back at that map. And one of the things I remember even putting on that map was a note to self. And it said, it's okay to continue to change or edit as needed. Take the risk. And y'all, that's what it was. It was a risk. It's like, okay, even though I'm going slowly, I'm not going to stand still. I'm going to continue to follow my heart. I'm going to continue to, golly, look at all these things that are important for me, finding something that fuels my passion, find something that keeps me telling my story. And it just continues to grow from there. So yeah, you're right. I ended up creating Imparted Joy. And I have a website. I'm helping others being able to share their stories, publishing. I've gotten 4 more books out since then. I've gotten other projects with other authors, being able to illustrate. I've got another project in the works. I've got, but beyond that, I even looked at my map, and I'm like, you know what? My side hustle became my primary hustle. And I did. I kind of retired from the classroom in May, but I repurposed myself in the area of education and went in different directions. Now I'm helping other educators fuel their passion and grow in their professional learning. So yeah, so many things. And now I'm like at that point where like, boom, 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 let's keep going. I'm not stuck. Yeah. I've got all these ideas. I keep writing them down. I keep listening to podcasts. I keep following your journeys, and it just sparks.
I love that. So everything you just said, I mean, yes, absolutely. Huge round of applause. Where I want to go with that is, listening to you talk, and somebody said this to me earlier in the week. They said something about, the success with Road to Awesome, which I still don't feel like that's where we are. I still feel like we're just barely starting. But where I'm going with that is, I mean, Road to Awesome started in 2019. That was when we first actually, launched our LLC. And at that time, it was just a simple, I want to speak, but I have no idea how to get there. I want to, be a leadership coach, but I have no idea how to get there. And I think I had 1 client and like 2 speaking gigs in that entire first year. Now, obviously, I mean, things are bigger than that. My side hustle has become, the full-time work. And the reason I say that, it's similar with you. It's similar with where Brandon is in his journey. There's no such thing as an overnight success. There are people who will look at, where any of the, either the 3 of us are and think, wow, you've just can't kind of come out of nowhere. And the truth is, it all comes back to starting with like that one thing. I mean, what is the one thing that you want to do? Getting that clarity, like Brandon was talking about. So I'm wondering, one, Jilly, do you ever hear that kind of thing? People who, talk about, wow, look at where Imparted Joy is. And I mean, I know your story well enough that, I mean, your first book, you didn't just get a yes right away. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, yes, this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese. My book was the same way. I mean, everything takes time, right?
Yeah. And, people say, well, how does she do it? Or how does he do it? And it's like, I could never do that. And that is the worst sentence that you could say, is to limit yourself and say, I could never do this or never do that. And honestly, I was the same way. I mean, 5 years ago is like, heck no, I'm not putting myself out there. I'm not sharing my story with anybody. And, now I think, like now I've even applied to TED Talks, and Brandon, like I've already had 4 rejections, and I'm like, that's awesome, because it is a rejection, yes, but it is also a win because I put myself out there, doggone it. And putting in an application for a TED Talk or any national presentation is not just a one and done. I mean, you think about it, it evolves. You have to put so much effort, and it takes several hours to even put it together. So I just think, we keep going, but at the same time, people look at it like it's impossible, and it is not. It is not.
No, it definitely is not. And I think one thing we've learned in this coaching journey, all of us have learned, is that inside of us, there is something that is just full of passion and full of fuel. And as we start to recognize that, and as you start to plan out and think through and walk through your action plan and come up identifying with that one thing, all of those things are coming out of you because that's really what's inside of you. That's really what you want to do. So as you're getting connected and as people are getting connected to what that thing is that really irks you, like, man, I really wish I could do that. I really wish I could do that one step further. I could really do that other thing. And I know I could do that, but then all of a sudden there's the limitations that come in. But you should know that prior to those limitations, that was really you saying what you really wanted. And so for you to be able to plan out, for you to be able to see the action, for you to kind of just push away all those limitations, the rejections, the no's, and turn those into yeses in your life is what it's all been about. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to you talk and I'm pumping my hands in the air, like so many things, because I've seen it and we've all seen it and we've all come so far. But it's just so great to hear your journey and how awesome that it is that you just took it one day at a time, one step at a time, getting that 1% better every single day.
But it is a collaborative, right, project. I mean, it is not just me on my own. It's not me. I mean, I do look back at a year ago where we were in this course together, and all of the people that were in here. I look at Melissa. Melissa Wright just put a book out last month, and I'm like, she was in this group too. And I'm like, I look at all of those things that we might not have done had we not really had the resource and really the map to be able to follow that vision and to follow that path. So I can't say enough about finding those people and finding your circle that can come around you. And, they're never going to leave you. You guys have never gone away and gone, she's doing good on her own, I'm going to leave her, leave her be. No, it's like we continue. It's a circle, it's a cycle, and we're continuing to do this road together.
Well, I think absolutely. I think, the truth is collectively we get better. We can't just simply try to be a person on an island or, make it all about just ourselves. We get better, or as Brandon and I always say, we rise by lifting others. The more we're willing to support each other, the more I saw an incredible quote the other day, or I think I actually heard it on one of Pat Flynn's podcasts. He was talking about this exact topic, and essentially what he said is the more you give, the more of those rewards start to come back to you. But it's about really giving and supporting and lifting others. And when we talk about that inspire and connect and launch, it's about getting all those people in your camp, getting all those people that are there to support you. I mean, I look back on that group I guess it was June 6th. I honestly couldn't have told you what the day was, so I appreciate, Jillian, the accuracy of your notes. But, looking back at that whole group, I would say, everybody has kind of gone in their own direction and they're all having their own success. But, there's still probably a lot of, hey, I still feel a little bit accountable to Ariel. I still feel a little bit accountable to Melissa, to Jillian, to Debbie, and so on. So I think that's awesome. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody who is in that place, those people who stop all three of us and talk to us about, hey, I think I want to get into the speaker space. I've had 2 people ask me that recently. I think I want to write a book. I think I want to fill in the blank, make the leap into my side hustle full time. What might be one piece of advice that you have for those folks?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that really you have to be at that point in your life where you are okay with sharing who you really are. So much of us put that wall up, or we don't want anybody to see who we really are just yet. But when you let go of that and you have that freedom within you to say, you know what, I don't care what they think, I'm going to present myself as who I am and authentically and genuinely just share. And I find that the more I can share and the more stories that come out and the more connections, the more almost feels like I'm respected. And I have people reach out more and go, can you tell me more about that? Because how in the world did you even get to that place where you could share what you just shared? Like, I could never do that. So I think, and I think that's what we all deep down want to cultivate within ourselves, is being able to show people who we are and be able to just, I don't know, tear down those walls. And I don't know, just really, I think it helps you with your vision too. And I think it helps you with the path that you're on, because if you can see through all the crap, that you've tried to live up to and the expectations you put on yourself, and really probably unrealistic expectations that may have come from other people that you thought, expected you to do whatever. But so just being you.
Yes. Share your story.
Love that.
Inside of your story is your why, deeply connected to your purpose. And man, oh man, there are so many great stories out there. You don't need 10 million followers to have a story. Everybody's got one. And I think that you're jumping in and owning your story and seeing where you could take it and above and beyond. And it's just been amazing to see and exciting to see where you're going to continue to go. So thank you so much for joining us on this show.
Thanks.
This has been awesome. But don't forget, everybody, it all started because she signed up. It all started because she took a risk. It all started because she looked for that accountability and said, I'm going to jump in with these people. I may not really know what I'm getting myself into. And then now look at where you are. And I'm not saying we're the only reason for your success, because we are not. There is a million other reasons for your success. But we want to just say that when you come into something like this, when you're wondering if you're kind of teetering on the edge, do I or don't I? Well, invest in you. And I think that was awesome that you did that. And man, such an inspiring story. Thank you so much for joining us on this show today, because this is what it's all about. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank
That's
you so much.
That's so true. Jillian. And I tell you what, having the notebook, you guys said, all right, everybody get a notebook, get a journal. And I'm like, oh, great, another journal, right? But let me share with you before I leave, the first sentence that I wrote on top of this journal was empower you to take ownership of your story and release the leader within. The very first thing I wrote at the top. And I still read that all the time, and I still feel that in my heart. So thank you guys for everything. Good luck. You guys, if you're watching, listening, it's recorded. Scan, join, and be blessed.
Thank you, Jillian. It just warms my heart to be able to have conversations with her. And she's right. 100% of it is being able to have that connection and being able to reach out to somebody. I mean, I reached out to Jillian yesterday or a couple of days ago on something, just to get a little bit of input. And the more we have that kind of a network, the more likely we are to be successful moving towards our goals. And I think, that's where you and I've talked about our coaching stories a lot, and having somebody that you feel like, hey, I don't want to let that person down, or that person is willing to ask a simple question of, hey, what might your next step be? Or, accomplish that. Or, even some of the questions that we talk about in the Open Road Accelerate course, things like, when you accomplish this, who might you become? And even better, I love this question, and I know this one's one of yours. What happens if you don't accomplish that goal? I think sometimes we have these dreams of, oh, if I could just do this, but sometimes we don't think about, well, what if I don't? I just think that's such an important element that people tend to overlook, and something that we're going to make sure that when you're a part of the UUP on the RTA work that Brandon and I do together, we're going to make sure that you don't lose sight of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, to all those people and to you, if you're thinking about getting yourself in, sign up for the free course. That's why we created the free course. We created the free course so that you would jump in, get your feet wet, and get a taste of it, and then connect with us after. Give us your feedback, give us your thoughts, tell us where you're going. And then if you're ready for the launch, if you're ready for something bigger, jump on that paid course, man. 4 sessions, 4 units. Inspire, Connect, Launch is the first unit. Then we're going to redefine our results in the second one. We're going to make those action plans so that they stick, so that they work, so that they lead to immediate action, so that you're able to start to see your journey in front of you unfold. Those dreams, those visions, they're going to unfold because you're going to be sticking to that action plan. And then you're going to just see that sky is the limit in Unit 4. Clarifying that vision, developing those systems so that this is not just something that you do in 1 month or in 1 week. This is something that you do for the rest of your life, because it is a grind, and you're going to have to keep waking up, and you're going to have to keep punching back. And life is never always going to be easy, but we want to join you on the journey because, number one, everyone needs a coach. And number two, that accountability piece, we're there to provide that third point perspective for you. Reach out to us if you don't believe us. Join us. Check out the link below. Scan it over there. You can do it. Meet us. Let's do it. Let's do this. Absolutely.
Make
Darrin,
it happen.
I'm so excited to meet new people. I'm so excited about this.
I'm fired up for this because, we've got, so many clients now that we're working with. Jillian was one of our original legacy members, but so many of our clients now that are just having such incredible success with, whether it is, a book, or, launching a side hustle, or, maybe it's even just, hey, I'm new in the role that I have in my current job, and I want to have some coaching to help me be successful in those spaces. I think that's just amazing. And for me, the thing that really fires me up the most, you talk about Open Road Accelerate and what those units are. Folks, when you get to the end of that and you complete that, you're not just getting some completion certificate from the Road to Awesome teachable class. You're getting a free coaching experience with Darrin and Brandon. You are going to, when you complete that, you are going to get on a live call with the two of us. We're going to dig deep into that RPM, like Jillian just said. We're going to dig in deep to what are your goals, where do you want to go, and how can we help get you there. Folks, Brandon said it. Everyone needs a coach. Yes, I do the coaching, but I have a coach now. I continue to have a coach that supports me. It's meaningful. It's powerful. I'm telling you what, this is going to help you drive your goals and start to get the results that you want. So scan this or type that in, whatever it might be. Hey, I finally I don't want to say I've mastered it, but I've gotten a lot better at directions on StreamYard. It's, it's a lot harder than it looks, folks. So hit those 2 spaces, connect with the 2 of us. If you don't already have connection to Jillian, just get connected to Jillian, because she's an amazing human being and you will never regret connecting to Jillian. Thank you guys for giving us a little bit of your time. I hope you enjoyed listening to us live, or you're going to check it out on the recording. Share this with people that you know that could definitely use some help getting their goals crushed, because that's what we're here for on UUP on the RTA. Have an amazing week.
Adios. Take care, everybody.